Okay, here we go. Chapter 7.5, Finding Dimensions of Plane Figures. So we're going to use dimensions of plane figures, stuff from Chapter 6, like circumference of a circle, circumference, perimeter of a triangle, area of a triangle, rectangle, area of a circle. All these kinds of things we're going to use. We're going to use them along with our idea of solving for a missing variable that we've done in Chapter 7. So, for instance, the blue triangle of the Puerto Rican flag has an area of 390 square inches. So there's a triangle on the flag, and the triangle has a total area of 390 inches. Inches squared is the area. We know that the area is that, and we know that the base, according to example 1, is 30, but the height, this distance from the bottom to the top, is just listed as h. Okay, so we don't know the height. This is often we know both the base and the height, and we have to find the area. And this is working through the algebraic type of a concept where we're solving for a variable. So we start with a formula. Hopefully you remember the formula for the area of a triangle. It's area equals 1/2 base times height. And then we have to take a look at what we have that we know. We know the area. That's this one, A. We know the base. That's B. What we don't know, our question mark, is the H. So we're just going to put in what we do know. We're going to put in 390. That's the area. Equals 1/2 the base, which is 30, times the height. So we know everything except for this one thing. And then we can just begin solving from here. We can go ahead and multiply 1/2 times 30. That's at least what I would do. And then I'd rewrite it. 390 equals 15 times h, because 1/2 times 30 is 15. And then the next step is to just divide both sides by 15. And then those cancel, leaving just h. And then you might have to get a calculator to do 15 into 390, or just do long division. 2 times 15 is 30. That leaves 9. Bring down the 0. And then 2 goes into 30, or 15 goes into 30 twice, and 30 goes into 93 times. So we're going to say 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 plus 3 is 9. Okay, so there's no remainder, so 26 is the answer. 26 equals h. And we can go back in and put that up if we want. 1/2 30 times 26, and that equals 390. That's how we check our work. Okay, so that's what we're doing. They're going to give us questions, like they may give us a circle, and they may say that the radius of the circle is r, but they may not tell us exactly what that is, but they might tell us what the total circumference has a circumference of 4.71 feet. So then we have to figure out what the formula is to remember that the circumference equals pi times d, or c equals 2 pi r. Okay, since we have r here, we could use this one. That might be better. The book uses pi times d. So I guess it doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and use the pi times d just because the book does, and we'll see what we get. Circumference is 4.71 equals pi, which is 3.14, at least that's what we're going to use, times d. Now we still don't know the diameter. It says what is the radius of the circle, so we're just going to go ahead and divide both sides by 3.14. We're looking for the radius, but we're going to find the diameter. And I want you to be thinking about how, if you find the diameter, can you find the radius? Alright, so this is a tougher problem because we've got decimals here, and it's definitely time for a calculator. So it's 4.71 divided by 3.14. So 4.71 divided by 3.14, and it's 1.5. So 1.5 equals d. Okay, so if we want to find the radius, then we might remember that the diameter is 2 times the radius, and we already know that the diameter is 1.5, so it's 2 times r, and then if we divide both sides by 2, that will give us the radius. And I think most of you knew that all you had to do was cut the diameter in half to get the radius. So 1.5 divided by 2 is 0.75, and I just know that in my head. I guess if you had $1.50 and you cut it in half, you'd have 75 cents, and that's sort of where I go with that. So the radius equals 0.75. Just like that, okay? Remember, if this is too confusing or if I'm going too fast, you can always go back and watch it again or slow it down. Work on your own in your book while you're watching this video. That's very helpful too. Finding a missing dimension. Oh, so we have a picnic tabletop, and the picnic tabletop, let's see, looks a little bit like this. Of course, because it's got the legs and everything, we can't see it all. But you know, that's kind of the start of it. And they're saying the area, the length is L, and the width is 3 feet. So we don't know what it is. It says the perimeter is 22 feet. What is the length? So we have to remember how to find the perimeter of a rectangle. And the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, and I think you can find that in the back of your book. I do want you to start learning these. They need to be memorized. And we know the width, but we don't know the length. So I'm just going to rewrite it using what we know. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2 times 3. And then if I come down below that, perimeter equals 2L plus, oh, I should put the perimeter in. We know it's 22. So 22 equals 2 times L plus, and we need to make sure that I know that's an L, not a 21. So I try to make sure I draw it just a little different than I would do a 1. 2 times 3 is 6. So 2L plus 6. So this is a two-step problem. I need to subtract 6 from both sides. That's the first part that we do. So 22 take away 6 is 16, and that leaves me 2L plus 0, so I just leave that alone. And now I want to go back and divide both sides by 2. 2 halves becomes 1, and 16 halves becomes 8. It's like 8 ones, okay? So L equals 8, and I could put that back in. Length is 8. I think that length is 8. And if I put it back in here at 8 instead of L and 3 instead of W, then I get 2 times 8 is 16 plus 2 times 3 is 6, and that equals 22. And I know that I did it right because it told me that the perimeter is 22 feet. So the length is 8. Okay, that's how that works. And then here is another one. They have kind of a strange shape that has a combination triangle and rectangle. It looks a little bit like this, not exactly, but close. And they say that this is 12 feet here, this little piece, and then this longer piece is 30 feet. They're both in feet, and then we don't know what the height is or the base of that triangle is. All right, so what I have is the area but I know that the total area, the rectangular part of a dance studio covers 490 feet. What is the area of the triangular part? So I'm going to find this first, this area, and once I find this area, well, I already know the area, but I'm going to find H. Once I know the H, then I can find this, use the area of the triangle using H and 12. So it's kind of 2 steps. We start with this rectangle first, which is 495 square feet. That's 495 feet squared just for the rectangle part. Alright, so we're going to start with that. And so we're going to go area equals length times width. And then I'll go ahead and put it in. 495 equals 30 times h. So we got 30 as one dimension, and h is the other, length and width, or base and height, however you do that, length and width. Then we'll divide both sides by 30. Okay, and so the h is equal to whatever 495 divided by 30 is. Ooh, can I undo that? And undo. Nope, I can't. All I can do is somehow I made it giant. There we go. But now it doesn't fit in the window. Okay, as close as I can get. Alright, so we're going to do this. Go back to the calculator. It's 495 divided by 30. Clear. 495 divided by 30 equals 16.5. Alright, so h is 16.5. Okay? Now I know that this one, so I'm on to this part. Area equals 1/2 base times height. And then they're using the 12 as the base and the h as the height. So we can do that. We can work with that. So then the area equals 1/2, and the base is 12, 1/2 times 12, and the height is 16.5. Alright, now I can immediately go straight to 1/2 times 12, and I know that half of 12 is 6. So area equals 6 times 16.5, and then that's just a multiplication problem. 6 times 5, 36, 39, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I've got to remember to put the decimal in there, so 99.0. So area equals 99 feet squared for the little triangle, which is what they're looking for. They want to know how big is the triangle of the dance studio. It's 49 feet squared. Okay, so that should get everything that you need to do this lesson.